Recording in progress.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please silence all electronic devices. Please silence all electronic devices. All guests, please make your way to the balcony. All guests, please make your way to the balcony. NYC Media, you guys ready? Thank you. Are we ready with the recordings? Thank you. We're good to go.
Good afternoon and welcome to the stated meeting of June 30th, 2024. I am Majority Leader Amanda Farias, and I'd like to thank you for joining us. If you'd like to follow along, the agenda for today's meeting is posted on our website. On behalf of the body, I welcome the members of the public who have joined us here today. During stated meetings, only members of the council may speak. Members of the public shall remain silent. If you wish to express your support of any remarks, you may make the silence approval gesture. I want to remind my colleagues that decorum is to be respected at all times. Insulting each other is not appropriate. All remarks are to be addressed to the chair, and members shall not speak unless recognized by the chair. It is essential that even if we disagree, we treat each other with respect.
Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Roll call.
Abreu.
Present.
Ariola.
Present.
Aviles.
Presente.
Ayala.
Here.
Banks.
Here.
Botcher.
Present.
Brannan.
Here.
Brewer.
Here.
Brooks Powers.
Present.
Caban.
Present.
Carr.
Present.
De La Rosa.
Here.
Dinowitz.
Here.
Felice.
Here.
Gennaro.
Here.
Gutierrez.
Presente.
Hanif.
Here.
Hanks.
Present.
Holden.
Here.
Hudson.
Present.
Joseph.
Present.
Krishnan.
Here.
Lee.
Here.
Lewis.
Present.
Marmorato.
Present.
Marte.
Present.
Mealy. Menon.
Here.
Moya. Narcisse.
Present.
Nurse.
Present.
Osei.
Present.
Palladino.
Present.
Powers.
Here.
Wrestler.
Here.
Riley.
Present.
Rivera.
Present.
Salam.
Present.
Salamanca.
Present.
Sanchez.
Present.
Shulman.
Here.
Stevens.
Here.
Ung.
Present.
Vernikoff. Williams.
I'm here.
Juan. Yeager.
Here.
Juan.
Swan, right?
Present.
Thank you. Zhuang.
Here.
Borelli. Farias.
Present.
Speaker Adams.
I'm present.
Madam Majority Leader, we have a quorum.
Thank you. We will now have today's invocation, which will be delivered by Pastor Paul B. Mitchell of Changing Lives Christian Center, which is located at 1848 Linden Boulevard in Brooklyn.
Speaker Adams, Majority Leader Ferraris, and the body of the council, thank you for this opportunity. Please bow your heads. Almighty God, our Father, we praise and thank you for this great day. Lord, you've said that in all of our ways, we should first acknowledge you. And if so did, you would direct our path. So, Lord, I pray, that you would direct and grant your public servants the ability to unite with their colleagues and partners in the spirit of cooperation and mutual respect. Guide them each with your wisdom each and every single day of their public lives. I pray they will work together across party lines and in cooperation with unity to maximize the productivity of our great city and for the benefit of all the residents who live and work in it. And Father, bless them with empathy and understanding, that they may govern with empathy and consider the needs of all people, especially the marginalized and vulnerable. Help them to bridge divides and foster unity among diverse communities, working towards a common good for all of our citizens. Surround them now, Lord, with wise counselors who will offer sound advice and support their efforts to govern justly. And Lord, I pray now for their protection. Protect them, protect their families from all dangers and harm. As they navigate the complexities of governance, may they navigate with integrity, make decisions with compassion, and govern with humility. I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you. I would now like to ask Councilmember Chris Branks to spread the invocation on the record.
Thank you, Majority Leader Farris. I would like to thank Pastor Paul B. Mitchell, my pastor, for being here today, and I make a motion for the unanimous consent to spread the invocation in full upon the record.
Adoption of minutes,
None.
messages and papers from the mayor,
M54, City Debt and Reserves.
Received, ordered, printed, and filed.
communication from city, county, and borough offices,
Preconsidered M55 and preconsidered M56, budget modifications.
Finance.
petitions and communications,
None.
land use call-ups.
None.
Thank you. We will now have communication from Speaker Adrian Adams.
Thank you very much, Madam Majority Leader, and good afternoon, everyone. Today, we are voting on several items related to adoption of the city budget for fiscal year 2025, as well as the Home Preservation and Debt Resolution Reform Act. Introduction 962, sponsored by Councilmember Justin Brannan, advances the resolution and enforcement of property tax collection and preservation of housing for certain properties throughout comprehensive reform of the city's process to collect unpaid property taxes and payments. It shifts the focus from debt collection to debt resolution with multiple off-ramps and strong protections for at-risk homeowners to maintain their assets and housing stability, and safeguards for tenants in affected large buildings. It also establishes a process to advance alternatives to the city's use of securitized trusts with a clear mandate and timeline. Now let's move on to the fiscal year 2025 city budget. First, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge and thank a few people from the council for their work throughout this process. I want to thank our finance chair, Councilmember Justin Brannan, whose strong leadership was pivotal to the progress that this council achieved in its fight for investments and restorations. I also want to express appreciation to our leadership team of Deputy Speaker Diana Ayala, Majority Leader Amanda Farias, Majority Whip Sylvina Brooks Powers, and Council Members Keith Powers, Carlina Rivera, Rafael Salamanca, and Sandra Ung. I also want to thank the members of the Council's budget negotiating team, which includes our leadership team, as well as Council members Gail Brewer, Eric Denowitz, Kevin Riley, Althea Stevens, Linda Lee, Natasha Williams, Lynn Schulman, Julie Wan, Shekhar Krishnan, Crystal Hudson, Rita Joseph, Mercedes Narcisse, and Joe Borelli. We also could not have reached this moment without the work of the entire Finance Division staff, led by my Deputy Chief of Staff for Finance and Chief Financial Officer, Tanisha Edwards, and the Director of the Finance Division, Richard Lee, and including Jonathan Rosenberg, Alan Leibowitz, Michael Toomey, Chima Obasher, Isha Wright, Elizabeth Hoffman, Aliyah Ali, Julia Haramis, Florentine Kabor, Jack Story, Daniel Krupp, Monica Saladi, Adrian Drapal, Danielle Glantz, Rose Goldstein, Sandra Gray, Seymul Hamid, Nia Hylett, Owen Katowski, Casey Liske, Andrew Lane Lawless, Glenn Martelloni, Faraya Rahman, Michael Sherman, Tanvir Singh, Shana Ortiz, Emra Adev, Dilara Dimnaku, William Shermatang, Paul Sturm, Andrew Wilbur, Hector German, Vincent Giordano, Paul Simone, James Reyes, Savannah Chu, Carolina Gill, Emmanuel Afuape, Michael Perez Perez, Vanessa Diaz Lopez, Nicole Anderson, and Maria Pagan. This budget and the investments we secured for New Yorkers are only possible because of your hard work and dedication, finance team, as true public servants. I also want to thank the Office of General Counsel staff for their work on the council side of the budget. Francesca Della Vecchia, Alicia Vessel, and the entire Public Integrity Unit, Pearl Moore, and the attorneys of the Office of the General Counsel, and Jonathan Ettricks of the Legislative Documents Unit. Last but not least, I want to thank members of my senior staff, Jeremy John, Faiza Ali, Mandela Jones, Danielle Castaldi-Micca, Megan Lynch, Jay Coe, Danielle Porcaro, and every division and staff member of the City Council, including all council members, staff. We thank you all. In my State of the City, I said, let's get back to basics. New Yorkers need an effective government so that all of us and future generations can build their legacies in our great city. That continued to be our North Star for this budget, to build a strong and stable foundation for our city and all New Yorkers. Our Council Finance Division and its economists correctly guided us with accurate data regarding what to expect in terms of our economic outlook and forecasted revenues. We were clear about the challenges and that we have the resources to invest in New Yorkers and protect what they rely on. The families and people of this city need affordable housing and early childhood education to remain here. Our students need support to continue recovering from historic learning loss from the pandemic, and we must prioritize resources for mental health care, community safety, cultural institutions, libraries, parks, senior services, and so many other vital programs. Skyrocketing housing costs and the lack of affordable housing also guided our work to secure investments for more affordable housing development and home ownership opportunities with the leadership of Chairs Riley, Salamanca, Sanchez, and Banks, along with many other members. We are immensely proud of the work accomplished by this council to restore funding for these priorities. And at the same time, we know there is so much more that our cities and communities need. It is imperative for our city's future that the budget process moves away from restoring and towards strengthening and building. Early childhood education has been a priority for this council. We know how critical it is to children's development and to New Yorkers' abilities to raise their families here. $293 million added for early childhood education between the executive budget and now, including a comprehensive plan that the council prioritized to fund more seats to ensure all families waiting for a seat can get one. In this budget, we took on a unique role as a legislature to more actively get involved in fixing the administration of our early childhood education system because its continuing operational problems are undermining its ability to reliably serve our children and families. We recognize this was both a fight for funding and one to save and strengthen these critical programs from challenges that cannot be allowed to persist. Right now, we have fewer applications than budgeted seats. We also have vacant seats despite many families being unable to obtain one. This is a problem that we must address because this system is too important to fail our families. Our comprehensive approach includes funding for more seats to meet the immediate needs of the families who didn't get a seat after applying for the coming year. It also adds preschool special education seats to ensure that hundreds of children with disabilities who remained on waiting lists can finally access their legally required seats. We also put forward strong reforms, including funding for a revived outreach effort to ensure families know about their options, converting even more seats to full day, full year, to meet the needs of working families, and establishing a working group with the council, mayor's office, DOE, and OMB that will meet every other week to confront the system's challenges on a granular level. For us, this agreement is the foundation for stabilizing and strengthening the system, so we can achieve a real universal system of 3K based on utilization. We have the capacity to secure a seat for every child. We must get this right to help families remain in this city and help them succeed. We know our students are still struggling to recover from historic levels of learning loss and disruptions caused by the pandemic. We work together to add and restore over $711 million in funding for education in the executive budget, and now including for school-based social workers, school psychologists, and family workers, community schools, the Learning to Work program, literacy instruction and dyslexia programming, shelter-based community coordinators, and restorative justice, among other critical programs. Students will receive these services without interruption, which has always been a goal for this council. I want to thank all the members who helped us get here, especially those who rolled up their sleeves to get into the details with us. Education Chair Joseph and Children and Youth Chair Stevens, their leadership was pivotal to safeguarding our children's futures and uplifting working families across our city. I also want to thank Councilmember Jen Gutierrez for her leadership in these efforts. We also restored investments to CUNY, our system's engine of opportunity, so New Yorkers have continued access to educational and economic opportunities. Thank you to Higher Education Chair Dinowitz for your commitment to CUNY. We're at a pivotal moment where smart investments in housing today can bring about a more affordable future. The record high levels of homelessness and evictions, compounded by the high costs of housing, underscores the urgency of building and sustaining homes for the people of our city. In this budget, we secured $2 billion in additional funding in the capital plan over the next 2 years for affordable housing production, home ownership opportunities, and public housing, thanks to Chairs Riley, Salamanca, Sanchez, and Banks, along with many other members. We're also proud to have secured baseline funding for City FEPS of over $500 million for the very first time. These are the types of investments that New Yorkers need to live in our city and raise their families here. We fought hard to secure restorations and baseline funding of $53 million for our cultural institutions and $58.3 million for libraries, thanks to the leadership of Chair Rivera and the members of this council who stood beside her and behind her in fighting for this funding. I'm also proud that we were able to restore and add over $23 million in funding for our parks, thanks to Parks and Recreation Chair Krishnan and members who understood the value of protecting these precious resources. We cannot forget about our elders, who are the jewels of our communities. Our older adults need access to senior centers, home-delivered meals, and other vital programs to live and age with dignity. And we're proud to have restored and added nearly $17 million for programs that allow our older adults to lead healthy and connected lives. Thank you to our aging chair, Chair Crystal Hudson, for leading us to honor our older adults by securing more of what they deserve. Transit is the lifeblood of our city, and expanding access to it remains a priority for this council. We secured an additional $10.7 million in baseline funds for fair fares. Through our hard work, more low-income New Yorkers will now have affordable access to public transit by expanding fair fares eligibility. I thank Transportation and Infrastructure Chair Brooks Powers for her efforts to continue expanding and strengthening this crucial program. We also secured important investments for justice-involved supportive housing, alternatives to incarceration, trauma recovery centers, and funding to save smaller mental health clubhouses that face the risk of closure. The council has consistently championed community-based safety programs that make neighborhoods safer and mental health resources to prevent people from slipping into crisis, and we will continue to invest in these proven solutions. I thank Mental Health Disabilities and Addictions Chair Lee and Criminal Justice Chair Nurse for your leadership to advance a holistic vision of health and safety that is rooted in evidence-based solutions. The health of New Yorkers has always been our priority, and we were proud to fully restore funding to HIV/AIDS services and commit tens of millions more in the capital plan for a new trauma center in the Rockaways. To help make sure no one goes hungry, we were proud to restore funding for Community Food Connection and food insecurity services throughout our entire city. I thank Deputy Speaker Ayala, Health Chair Schulman, and Hospitals Chair Narcisse for prioritizing the health of New Yorkers, and of course, our Majority Whip, who pushed for the Trauma Center on the Rockaway Peninsula. I'm also proud of the investments we secured to support our city's oversight bodies and those that protect the civil rights and safety of New Yorkers, including the CCRB, CCHR, DOI, and EEPC. We could not have done this without the leadership of Oversight and Investigations Chair Brewer and Civil and Human Rights Chair Williams. There are so many parts of this budget that the council fought hard to restore. Whether it was Councilmember Shawn Abreu fighting for community composting and litter basket services, or Council Members Ung and Wan fighting for language access and interpreter programs to build a more inclusive city. Transparency in our budget is critical as well, which is why every year the council has prioritized adding new units of appropriation to the structure of the budget that reflect actual agency programs and functions. This year, through our negotiations, we secured the creation of 11 new units of appropriation, including a breakdown on spending for training within the Department of Correction, the Department of Instructional and Information Technology within the Department of Education, and the Chief of Department and Detective Bureau within the NYPD. We will also align 4 existing units of appropriation. Finally, our budget includes a record 65 terms and conditions, which will disclose spending on issues critical to the Council, including on early childhood education, Carter cases, the NYPD's deployment of its strategic response group, unlicensed cannabis summonses and fines, and DYCD's crisis management systems programs. Throughout this process, we've been in conversation with our constituents and advocates in our communities to deliver a budget that truly reflects the needs of New Yorkers. Every single win was hard fought on behalf of our neighbors and all New Yorkers. As I will continue to say, as we move forward, we must shift from a focus on restoring to one of strengthening programs and services that we know New Yorkers need and deserve. Thank you very much, colleagues. I now turn it over to our Majority Leader.
Thank you, Speaker Adams. We will now move into discussion of general orders, and I'd like to recognize Councilmember Nurse, followed by Lewis.
Thank you, Majority Leader. Since 1996, New York City has privatized the collection of property tax and other debt by relying on a complex web of trust, servicers, and Wall Street companies through a system called the tax lien sale. It has been the primary enforcement tool to collect property tax arrears, but it has also been a tool of displacement. Advocates for years have demanded the city abandon or transform the lien sale into a fairer system that centers compliance and preservation. Today's bill, Intro 962, is the latest result, but not the end of this work. And to be clear, this bill is not perfect. It does not abolish the tax lien sale. It does not provide enough protections for tenants, and it does not categorically exempt certain properties from the lien sale. But this bill is miles away from where we were. What this bill does is provide many off-ramps to small homeowners, primarily Black, brown, senior, and low-income homeowners, so they can stay in their homes and in compliance. It creates what many advocates have asked for, including a new opt-in preservation track allowing nonprofits to keep at-risk housing permanently affordable and insulated from the private market, an easy exit system for struggling homeowners, a minimum payment system, a new circuit breaker deferral program for low-income homeowners, and more transparency around the shadowy trust model that manages and executes the lien sale. This bill is not the end of this issue, and we have a lot more work to do. I want to thank the Abolish the Tax Lien Sale Coalition, the Coalition for Affordable Homes, Speaker Adams, Finance Chair Brannan, and the finance team, especially Amre and Richard, my colleagues who have been regularly meeting with us over the last 2 years, and especially Ryan Hickey from my team. Thank you, Majority Leader.
Thank you. I'd now like to recognize Councilmember Lewis.
Thank you, Madam Majority Leader. After months of negotiations, I am proud of the restoration of critical services and programs our city desperately needs. My constituents have been deeply concerned about the effects of budget austerity and cuts to vital resources for our parents and children, the loss of library services, and the lack of opportunities for 3K and summarizing programs in the past year have created painful gaps for families seeking opportunities. The restorations, including nearly $20 million for summer rising, expanded early education seats, community schools, $58 million for libraries to provide critically needed 7-day service will be crucial to serving and engaging our communities. This budget's $2 billion investments in housing sends a clear message that our city prioritizes housing, especially for rent and tax burdened New Yorkers. I eagerly anticipate new developments that will offer truly affordable housing and ongoing repairs for NYCHA residents, including Glenwood houses in my district. Additionally, District 45, having one of the most diverse Caribbean diasporas in the city, will benefit from the allocation of the $53 million to cultural institutions, ensuring there's continuity in programs that enhance representation and participation in our city's growing cultural movements. These hard-fought budget wins would not have been possible without my colleagues, leadership of Speaker Adams, Chair Brennan, the advocates who consistently amplified the voices of marginalized New Yorkers to demand a fair budget with uninterrupted services, and I'm grateful to the Finance Division, dedicated public servants who endured many long nights and early mornings executing the people's budget with a smile and finesse despite the challenges. I look forward to our body voting in favor of these critical investments that will have long-lasting benefits for the city of New York and District 45. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to recognize Councilmember Salam, followed by Yeager.
Sorry about that. May the peace, mercy, and blessings from the owner of all peace, mercy, and blessings be upon each and every one of you. First, I'd like to thank my colleagues and Madam Speaker, Adrienne Adams, for your guidance and support during my first 6 months as a council member representing the historic village of Harlem. During the campaign trail, I promised my constituents that I would usher in a new Harlem Renaissance. And I'm proud to say that after many years of being underfunded and disenfranchised, the village of Harlem is not only receiving appropriate funding through the funds allotted to me, but it is also supported by our amazing speaker, the Honorable Adrienne Adams. I can now confidently say that the new Harlem Renaissance has begun. My staff has been working diligently to ensure a just and robust allocation for the people of Harlem while also advocating for budget restoration through the city. I thank you, Madam Speaker, for your commitment to restoring our library and cultural affairs. Not only have these funds been restored, but the historic Schomburg Center. I'm sorry, I'll come back.
I'd like to recognize Councilmember Yeager.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise very briefly to speak about Introduction 962. As I have in the past, I'm voting no on the lien sale bill. I believe fundamentally it's bad public policy for the city to offload its debt to third parties to collect. And recognizing that we have to have structures in place to require that people pay their taxes, there are a lot of better ways to do it than this. This bill unquestionably improves how the lien sale had been conducted in the past. It unquestionably improves the process by which people get themselves on the lien sale list or off the lien sale list. But where we are right now is the city does not have the authority to sell liens. And we're passing a bill that allows the city to have this authority. The people who are most affected by this fundamentally are people who can't pay their taxes, not people who don't want to pay their taxes, because everybody doesn't want to pay taxes. We're talking about people who find themselves in a place where they can't make that payment. And then at the end of the process, they have interest put on, and it's a senior who didn't get a bill or lost a bill and maybe doesn't have a child who's checking their mail. And the burden will later come to the point where that person's house is going to get taken. And it's going to be us who voted for the city to have that authority to do it. I don't want to look people in the eye and say I'm the one who's responsible for voting for this. And I think there are measures that we can put in place that would enable us to better make sure that A, people do pay their debts, and B, those who can't, we're able to help them. Even if we can't get them to pay it, that the city keeps the lien internally instead of outsourcing it to third parties for collection. And I have to vote no on it, and I urge those who might find themselves in agreement with the message, if not the messenger, to please join me. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no others signed up to speak. Report of special committees?
None.
Reports of standing committees?
Report of the Committee on Finance, Intro 962, Property Tax Collection.
Coupled on general orders.
Preconsidered resos 482 and 483, Adjusted Base Proportion and Base Percentage.
Coupled on general orders.
Preconsidered reso 484, Transparency Resolution.
Coupled on general orders.
Preconsidered reso 485 through preconsidered reso 488, Interest Rates for Certain Properties.
Coupled on general orders.
M42 and pre-considered resolutions 489 and 490, expense revenue contract budget, fiscal year 2025.
Coupled on general orders.
M43 and pre-considered resolutions 491 and 492, executive capital budget, fiscal year 2025.
Coupled on general orders.
M47 and pre-considered resolution 493, community development program.
Coupled on general orders.
Preconsidered M55 and preconsidered Reso 494 and preconsidered M56 and preconsidered Reso 495 budget modification.
Coupled on general orders.
Preconsidered M57 and preconsidered Reso 496 fixing the tax rate fiscal year 2025.
Coupled on general orders.
M14 through M49 various budget documents.
Coupled to be filed. I now ask that the clerk take a roll call vote on the items coupled today on today's general orders calendar.
Abreu.
Permission to explain my vote?
Permission granted.
Thank you, Majority Leader. I want to commend Speaker Adams, my colleagues on the budget negotiating team, and every council member who stood up and fought for the investments that are critical for protecting our city's future. As Sanitation Chair, I'm very proud to say that we're restoring community composting with $6.245 million and enhancing litter basket services with $25 million. This is a big, big deal. We're all tired of having to navigate around trash and overflowing trash cans on our sidewalks. And as we gear up for curbside composting in the fall, we're going to count on community composters to make sure that that investment pays off. With this budget, we're doing more than taking out the trash. We're going to expand access to affordable housing. We're going to protect mental health through new funding for our clubhouses. Emma Bone in Harlem will now manage to survive thanks to this council. We're going to give more people access to public transit through fair fares, and we're going to open our libraries 7 days a week. For the most part, we can let out a sigh of relief. The fight we endure to protect these services highlights a larger issue. Our city government should be focused on progress and growth, not on survival. We should be looking forward, investing in our communities, and building a better future. Instead, we find ourselves in unnecessary battles over what should be standard, uncontested parts of city life. I want to thank composting advocates for their tireless work over the last year. Your work paid off, and I couldn't be more grateful or impressed for all that you've done. Special thanks to Eric Goldstein, Lonnie Portis, Anna Sachs, Benny Safdie, and the entire composting coalition. You did it. Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you, Faiza. Thank you to everyone on the finance team. I vote aye.
Thank you. Ariola.
Permission to explain my vote?
Permission granted.
First, I'd like to disclose for the record of the council proceedings that the New York City Department of Transportation is funded in the budget that we are adopting, and my sibling is associated with that entity, and that the New York City Department of Sanitation is funded in the budget that we are adopting, and that my child is associated with that entity. I too would like to thank Speaker Adams, Jeremy John, Faiza, the entire financial team for all the phone calls you took and all the questions that you were asked and answered, and always making yourselves available to us. The finance team, the finance committee, the mayor's office for really kind of working together with the speaker's office and coming to an agreement so that we could have this budget today. And finally, my staff, my budget director, Kira Grace Donnelly, and my amazing chief of staff, Phyllis Incerillo. After that, I vote aye, with the exceptions of pre-considered resos 482, 483, 496 with M57, and resos 485, 486, 487, and 488. Thank you, and thank you again, Speaker.
Thank you. One moment. Aviles.
Permission to explain my vote?
Permission granted.
So this is a hard decision for me, as I'm sure it is for so many of my colleagues. I want to acknowledge the tireless work of the Speaker, her team, Council Finance, and council members who engaged, negotiated, and communicated with us throughout the process. I know that we fought our damnness to dig out of the tremendous hole that the mayor created with his funny math, his utter mismanagement, lies, and scapegoating tactics. Despite the mayor's bad faith posturing, we secured substantial clawbacks in funding for K-12 education, immigration services, cultural organizations, and libraries. I remind you, none of these cuts should have happened in the first place. I commend this council for the resources and dedicated resources to affordable housing programs, specifically supportive housing, and baselining such a significant amount of the city FAP's money. These are no small feats under an administration with a track record of contempt for government and the services that everyday New Yorkers depend on. This mayor continues to choose big real estate, corporate interests, carceral systems that harm us. I cannot in good conscience endorse his irrational and harmful philosophy of governance with a yes vote. We need to stop underfunding and defunding systems of care that are the foundation of safety in our neighborhoods, and we need to stop giving a blank check to policing in our budget when a fraction of NYPD's bloated budget could have restored critical services and programs New Yorkers rely on for health and safety. Our working families deserve truly universal early childhood education and daycare, a program this administration has failed to do little to fix in the past 2 years, a fully funded CUNY system and government services that are well-funded and effective. Our Parks Department still doesn't have enough equipment and staffing to adequately maintain our green spaces. When you look under the hood of the budget, you will find a collection of many ways this mayor has failed us and continues to waste resources. With that, I vote aye on all except for M42 and M43 and accompanying resolutions, and I need to do my disclosure.
You can do it now.
Okay. I'm disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that the New York City Department of Education is funded in the budget we are adopting, and my child is associated with that entity, and that the New York City Parks Department is funded in the budget that we are adopting, and my sibling is associated with that entity. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you. Friendly reminder to the gallery, there is silence. If you want to show support, please do this gesture.
Ayala.
I am disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that AHRC is funded in the budget and that we're adopting, and my partner is associated with that organization. With that, I would like to thank my colleagues. It's been a really grueling process, but I think that we did a fantastic job trying to get New Yorkers all of the resources they deserve. With that, I vote aye.
Banks.
Permission to explain my vote?
Permission granted.
Thank you. The city's budget is not just a financial accounting and accountability tool. It is a moral contract that identifies what we prioritize as important for the well-being of our communities and what we are willing to fight the hardest for. The voters of the 42nd Council District elected me to the council to fight for our seniors, our NYCHA residents, our homeowners, our children, their schools, and so much more. That is what I, along with my colleagues, have fought for. With the budget, I can tell those living in NYCHA senior developments that we fought for their safety. I can tell my parents and students that we fought for their libraries, their educational programming, their early education, their libraries, their after-school programs. I can tell the victims of crime and domestic violence that I have fought for their well-being. We have fought for improved parks, for improved social services, and improved cleanliness in our streets. While I do believe that we need more investment in protecting NYCHA's capital improvement plan and protecting Section 9, and more investment from the federal government, the efforts of this body are a step in the right direction. And while no budget is perfect, I'm proud to go back and tell my district and tell my constituents that I fought to bring many necessary resources back to our district, and that I will continue that fight day in and day out as their council member. I would like to thank the Speaker for her amazing leadership, Chief of Staff Jeremy John, Faiza, all the members of the budget negotiation team, my Deputy Chief of Staff, Michael Lambert, Kyle, and everyone who contributed to this fight for these resources. And with that, I vote aye on the adoption of this budget. And also, I would like to make a disclosure. I am disclosing on the record for the council proceeding, the Department of Parks and Recreation is funded in this budget. We are adopting, my brother is associated with that entity, and that the Department of Juvenile Justice is funded in this budget that we are adopting, that my other brother is also associated with that entity. Thank you.
Botcher.
Permission to explain my vote.
Permission granted.
I want to thank Speaker Adams, Finance Chair Brannon, the budget negotiation team, and all my colleagues and all the staff for your hard work over so many months on this budget and your success on reversing so many of the cuts that were proposed, including cuts to HIV and AIDS prevention programs. I also want to thank the team for being so communicative and inclusive with this body. I vote aye on all.
Brannon.
Aye.
Brewer.
I too want to thank the entire finance staff. Richard Lee's presentations day after day to the council were clear, answered questions. Same with Tanisha Edwards. Every single staff member in finance has been responsive. I particularly appreciate Jonathan Rosenberg's help with capital questions. My staff, Cynthia Hornig, Budget Director, and Ali Sofer, our Al Ban Fellow. They have been incredibly instrumental from participatory budgeting all the way to Schedule C reviewing, and I obviously thank all the advocates. The council organized some rallies too to support our budget priorities, and I went to all that I could. I even went to damn Brooklyn on a hot afternoon. Thanks to many people, this is a good budget. I heard the negotiators on the mayor's side at the rally in the Rotunda the other day said the council was tough. That's a really positive reference. You will hear the numbers, but most important, as you heard earlier, is the number of areas that have been baselined. I've been through 15 budgets as a council member, 8 as a borough president, and few have seen as much baselining. I am pleased, like others, about the libraries, the composting, the schools, the sanitation, the cultural, the housing, older adult programs, and other allocations. I know every area needs more, and I am delighted that parks funding exists, a lot of it, but the 1% promise, Mr. Mayor, needs to be kept next year. A promise is a promise, and if there was ever an equity issue, that is it. I'm also delighted that the oversight agencies receive funding such as DOI, CCRB, Board of Correction, Equal Employment Practices Commission. They need staff to do their oversight job. New Yorkers are hurting from the high cost of living here, the effects of the pandemic, the challenges of everyday life, national and international tensions, the concern about public safety and mental illness, and the child care support, fair fares, alternatives to incarceration, COLA increases, food, never enough, but they go a long way. Like others, I consider CUNY the jewel of New York, and many of the programs were restored. We have to keep working on CUNY.
Councilmember, your time has expired.
All right, I just want to say one more thing. I really appreciate the literacy, and I really appreciate the work on mental health clubhouses. Thank you very much, and everyone who worked on this. I am voting yes, and I teach at CUNY at Hunter, so I am associated with that entity. Thank you very much.
Brooks Powers.
Permission to explain my vote.
Permission granted.
From the moment the preliminary budget was released, we knew this would be a fight. With crippling inflation and the reduction in federal funding post-pandemic, the city has continued to face a range of fiscal challenges, but this council has always been clear about our approach to the budget. We are fiscally responsible when we do right by our constituents. Investing in the essential programs and services that New Yorkers rely on every day helps us not only today, but also to build a strong foundation for the future. That is why this council fought to restore cuts to our libraries, cultural institutions, education, and housing, and so much more. We pushed to expand eligibility for fair fares, adding over $10 million in baseline funding to make transit more affordable for thousands of qualifying New Yorkers who use our subways and buses every day. We secured an additional $2 billion to build, preserve affordable housing, including funding to support homeownership, construction, and renovation so that more New Yorkers are able to maintain and own their homes. While this budget is a victory for the people of New York, we understand that there is still more work to be done. In my own district, we were able to secure funding from the administration for a level 1 or level 2 trauma center, a facility that my community desperately needs. We continue to work with the city and state to ensure we will see this through. I thank my colleagues for your support from the very beginning, including B&T, the members, as well as council members Narcisse, Showman, and Areola especially. I want to give a huge thank you to our speaker, Adrienne Adams, for her steadfast leadership throughout this budget cycle and beyond, and to Finance Chair Brannon for his tireless advocacy on and off the dais. We see you. I want to thank the Speaker's Chief of Staff, Jeremy John, First Deputy Chief of Staff, Faiza Ali, and the entire finance team as well, Tanisha Edwards, Richard Lee, and all the folks who have led this effort from behind the scenes.
Councilmember, your time has expired.
I am done. I just would like to disclose that on the record of the council proceedings that I am affiliated with the Queens Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and we are funding this organization we are adopting today. And that the YMCA is funded in the budget we are adopting, and I am associated with that entity. And that the Edge School of the Arts is funded in the budget we are adopting, and my child is associated with that organization. And that the New York City Department of Education is funded in the budget we are adopting, and my child is associated with that organization. With that, I vote aye.
Thank you. Kaban.
Permission to explain my vote.
Permission granted.
First, I want to congratulate my colleagues and all the advocates on the many wins in this budget. I'm glad to see new investments in affordable housing, restoration of the senseless cuts to our libraries, and an expansion of Promise NYC, a life-saving childcare program for undocumented New Yorkers that my office conceived of 2 years ago. Madam Speaker, thank you for your continued steadfast advocacy in the face of a mayor who shows this body nothing but contempt and is intent on making life harder for poor and working class New Yorkers. While the restorations this council won are significant, are restorations alone enough to restore the confidence of everyday New Yorkers in our city's future? Help restore the confidence in us as their leaders? A recent poll showed that a majority of voters believe our city is headed in the wrong direction. And who could blame them? They see us playing catch-up on issues of housing affordability, childcare, climate, and they know the clock is ticking. It's the same playbook from the mayor every year. Announce a set of brutal cuts to vital city services and whip all of us into an organizing frenzy to restore them, ensuring we have no energy left to fight for true investments. Our constituents haven't stopped imagining a brighter future for New York City, so why have we? I'm voting no today because with significant remaining cuts to early childhood education, CUNY, shortfalls in agencies like DYCD, DOHMH, HRA, and with an ever-bloated over $12 billion police budget, it falls short of what my constituents and indeed what all New Yorkers need to live safely and happily in the city for decades to come, to put down roots here, to build families here, to become its next leaders. This no vote will certainly not grow my popularity with the powers that be, but my constituents did not put me in this room to be a rubber stamp and another Mayor Adams budget. My commitment to them is to fight for a budget that matches not only their needs, but their imagination and dreams, that restores their faith in our city as one of shared prosperity and in government as a vehicle for good. Whether I am one vote of many or one vote of just a few, I will not let them down. Thank you. And with that, I vote no on M42 and M43, the accompanying resolutions, and aye on the rest.
Carr.
Permission to explain my vote.
Permission granted.
Thank you, Majority Leader. I just want to wish everyone a happy Pride, of course, since we're here today. But in particular, I just want to give some thank yous for this year's budget. Of course, I want to thank Speaker Adams for once again proving herself a friend to Staten Island and Southwest Brooklyn, and Minority Leader Joe Borelli for all of his advocacy on behalf of my district as well and our home borough. But so much of what we accomplish here is also the work of staff, and having been a former staffer myself, I would be remiss if I didn't thank some of them by name. Of course, the Speaker's Chief of Staff, Jeremy John, for his open door and his willingness to work with my office and myself. Tanisha Edwards for her diligent advocacy, always across budget cycles. Richard Lee, Emra Adev, Mike Toomey, Jimmy Reyes, Carolina Gill, and so many others that were named by other colleagues today. Peter Spencer from the Minority Leader's Office, and then from my own staff, Giuseppe Desario and Loren Centineo. And with that said, I'll be voting no on pre-considered resolutions 482, 483, 496, and M57, as well as resolutions 485, 486, 487, and 488, and aye on the rest. Thank you.
De La Rosa.
Permission to explain my vote?
Permission granted.
Thank you. I would first like to thank Speaker Adams, our finance chair, and also the finance staff, the council leadership, as well as the budget negotiating team for their leadership and dedication to producing a budget for working people despite this mayor's commitment to austerity and cuts. I would also like to take a moment to thank my colleagues, especially the members of the Progressive Caucus and the various coalitions that we've built. As a council, over the past few years, we have been committed to producing positive change on the front lines. And this year, we worked harder than ever to advance budget protections for early childhood education, higher education, affordable housing, and cultural institutions. We must be proud of the headways we have made, fighting and securing $2 billion in capital dollars for housing that had not previously been available, and restoring funding that brings agency hiring and vacancies back into the conversation. We look forward to post-budget conversations to ensure strong and secure labor standards on new housing on the way. This is largely a restorative budget. Despite our best efforts, agencies continue to lag in hiring and retain large vacancies that delay the delivery of service, a feeling that reverberates in our everyday constituent services in Washington Heights in my district. The mayor continues to cut social safety nets and cut public institutions like CUNY, focusing on austerity. Austerity, however, does not lead to productive and effective delivery of services and does not meet the realities of those struggling within our district. We must shift our mindset from one of restoration to one of deep investment, especially when communities are still recovering from the gaps created during the COVID pandemic and years of previous disinvestment. We all want safe communities, but being serious about safety comes when root causes such as housing insecurity, hunger, workforce development are addressed, and not simply through the building of new training centers in our city. I will be voting yes on this budget. The council will not let up on its demands until investments reflect positively on the lives of those whom we were sent here to serve.
Councilmember, your time has expired.
Thank you. I'm wrapping up. As budget modifications are made throughout the fiscal year, we know that we will continue to listen to our people and we will continue to elevate the needs of our communities here in City Hall. I want to also disclose for the record of these council proceedings that the New York City Department of Education and the Washington Heights Tennis Association are funded in this budget. We are adopting, and my child is associated with those entities. Thank you.
Dinowitz.
Permission to explain my vote? Madam Majority Leader.
Pardon, permission granted.
Thank you so much. I just want to take a moment to thank Speaker Adams and Chair Brandon for their incredible hard work for this budget, the members of the B&T, but especially the finance staff, who I am just so surprised is managing to stay awake after all their sleepless nights, staying up, preparing documents for us, taking our opinions back and forth and preparing everything for us. Incredible work by the finance staff, so thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm very proud of this budget. We were able to protect and invest in services, critical services for so many in my community, and things that people care about every day, the cleaner streets, making sure the parks stay neat, story time at our library, pre-K and 3K, and programs in our CUNY system that ensure that our students have the support that they need to succeed and to thrive in school. So I'm proudly voting yes on this budget, yes on all items on today's agenda. Thank you. And I am disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that Fordham University is funded in the budget we are adopting, and I'm associated with that entity.
Thank you. I'd like to remind members to do their disclosures prior to voting. Clerk. Calling on Councilmember Carr.
Councilmember Carr.
I apologize, colleagues. I'd like to disclose on the record that the Italian Club of Staten Island, the Jewish Community Center of Staten Island, and the Garibaldi Medici Museum are being funded in the budget we are adopting, and I am a member of these organizations. Thank you.
Thank you. Feliz.
I like to disclose on the record that I am affiliated with CUNY Coastal Community College. I have the privilege of serving as an adjunct lecturer, which we're funding in this budget. With that said, I vote aye on all. I just want to congratulate everyone. We scored a lot of victories on issues of libraries, 3K affordable housing, including rentals and home ownership. We fought for those victories, and we should all be proud. Congratulations, everyone.
Thank you, Councilman. Gennaro.
Aye.
Thank you. Gutierrez.
I'm disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that New York City Department of Social Services is funded in the budget we're adopting, and my spouse is associated with that entity, and Maimonides Medical Center is funded in the budget we're adopting, and my sibling is associated with that entity. And can I explain my vote?
Permission granted.
Thank you. We came into these budget negotiations with a clear vision to tackle the #1 issue in New York City, affordability. But this budget cycle reminded us what this mayor and his administration are very good at, playing politics with the lives of New Yorkers. The city council went into this fight knowing what New Yorkers need to stay in this city: affordable housing, universal 3K and pre-K, and quality services. And New Yorkers agreed with us. Throughout this process, we have built a broad coalition, including thousands of parents, hundreds of nonprofit and faith leaders, 15+ major union organizations, representing over 1 million working New Yorkers. Without the fierce organizing of the Progressive Caucus, the work of Speaker Adrian Adams, Finance Chair Justin Brennan, respective committee chairs, and our awesome finance team, and I also just want to shout out Jeremy John and Faiza Ali, this budget would have looked very different. Families would have felt the cuts acutely and immediately. I want to be very, very clear. We have spent half a year fighting to restore reckless cuts that this mayor made. Under this mayor, it will always be an obstacle to expand successful programs that our communities want, like more community schools and more investments in CUNY. And this fight is proof that not only were these cuts unnecessary, but a distraction aimed to weaken this body and our spirits. We will not forget that Mayor Adams' austerity measures were set to harm those that were already struggling the most. Because of our work, New York City Public Schools will not be cutting over 20 programs, including restorative justice and success centers. Because of our work, vulnerable children will gain access to childcare and waitlists will be cleared. I can confidently say this is just the beginning. We are organized, we are angry, and we are a body of majority women and people of color representing a diverse set of New Yorkers that are not going to back down from investing dollars into what truly matters to the people of the city I've called home all my life. I vote yes. Bam.
Hanif.
I'm disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that the United Way of New York City is funded in the budget we are adopting, and my partner is associated with that entity. Permission to explain my vote?
Permission granted.
I vote no. I do so with deep gratitude for the work that this council has done over these past months. I am proud to be a part of this council team that was able to limit some of the administration's most egregious cuts, thanks to the leadership of Speaker Adrian Adams. The return of 7-day service for libraries, full restorations to our cultural sector, and the $25 million for Promise NYC are big victories that would not have been won without the council's tenacity. I also want to celebrate that the council and the Progressive Caucus secured a $2 billion boost in capital funding for housing, which will help us emerge out of the housing crisis. However, Mayor Eric Adams has forced through a budget that continues to decimate our educational system from baby cradle to graduation tassel. His $150 million cut to 3K abandons the promise of universality and means that some families in my district won't get seats that work for them. He has failed to invest in public schools in my district, causing teachers to be excessed and class sizes to rise. And he has cut CUNY by $78 million, depriving this generation of students of the resources that were available to me when I attended Brooklyn College. We are also seeing a $23 million cut to parks, which will result in less frequent trash pickup, a lower level of landscape maintenance, and even more limited access to bathrooms. At the same time, Mayor Adams is funneling money into his NYPD pet projects that do not work towards Real Community Safety, including the Cop City Multi-Agency Training Center, the 86-member PR team, the Teenage School Police Cadet Program, and the Strategic Response Group. A budget is about choices, and Mayor Adams has made the wrong ones. Ultimately, this is a restoration budget that prevents funding for essential services from going bad to worse, but New Yorkers deserve proactive investments that strengthen the resources their families need. I cannot sign off on a budget that, despite the council's best efforts, continues us down Mayor Adams' path of austerity. I vote aye on all with the exceptions of M42 and M43 and accompanying resolutions, on which I vote no.
Quiet in the gallery.
Hanks.
Permission to explain my vote.
Permission granted.
I'd like to thank Speaker Adrian Adams, the finance team, Chair Brannan, and everyone who fought for every dollar in this budget. I am aye on all except for M57 with the accompanying Reso 496, preconsidered Resos 482, 483, Resos 485, 486, 487, and 488, for which I am a no. Thank you.
Thank you. Holden.
I am disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that the City University of New York is funded in the budget we are adopting, and my child is associated with that entity, and that New York Presbyterian Hospital is funded in the budget we are adopting, and my child is associated with that entity. I'd like to vote aye on all except Intro 962, and Resos 482, 483, 496, 485, 486, 487, and 488, of which I vote no. Thank you.
Hudson.
Permission to explain my vote.
Permission granted.
Thank you. This year, the council had a Herculean task: work with a mayor bent on undermining New York City's core institutions to craft a budget that meets the well-being of the people that shape our communities. Fortunately, under the leadership of Speaker Adams and with the help of everyday New Yorkers, this is a council that fights back and makes clear that the material needs of our communities are not to be interfered with, be it our city's cultural institutions, libraries, older adults, housing, early education, or CUNY. Over the past few months, our offices have been flooded with calls and emails from our constituents with a singular message: do not touch our libraries or cultural institutions. And this speaker fought tooth and nail to fully restore $53 million in funding for culturals and $58.3 million for our libraries, including $42.6 million baseline to ensure 7-day service in perpetuity. This budget bolsters the council's commitment to combating the affordability crisis in our city, especially our housing crisis. Thanks to the tireless advocacy of the Progressive Caucus, this budget secured $2 billion for affordable housing over the next 2 fiscal years. As chair of the Committee on Aging, I'm glad this budget pushes back on many of the mayor's extreme budget cuts for older adult services. We restored $1.1 million in cuts to older adult centers, added $4.75 million for home-delivered meal reimbursements to provide an extra $1 per meal to providers, and secured $1 million in funding for estate planning and legal services to combat deed theft and other issues commonly facing older adults. We have more work to do to fight this mayor's attempt to defund older adults and secure funding for things like case management services and older adult center capital improvements. But this budget, thanks to the council and the council alone, moves us closer to creating a city where everyone can age in place with dignity. And with nearly $300 million in funds secured for early childhood education and $54.2 million in added funds for CUNY, this council is ensuring every child receives a world-class education from the beginning to the end of their tenure in public education. I'm also proud that this budget includes $1.5 million for an unrestricted cash assistance pilot program for low-income New Yorkers, as established by a bill of mine that passed last session and became local law. We won't secure every goal in each budget, but this council is doing the very hard work of securing funding for programs and services that advance the principles of equity and justice that guide this body. I vote aye, and I'm disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that the Museum of the City of New York is funded in the budget we're adopting, and my spouse is associated with that entity, and that Make the Road New York is funded in the budget we're adopting, and my tenant is associated with that entity. Thank you.
Joseph.
I'm disclosing on the record of the council proceeding that New York City Public Schools and Heartshare St. Vincent, my children are associated with this entity. Can I explain my vote, Majority Leader?
Permission granted.
Thank you. As the chair of Committee on Education, over the past 11 months, in partnership with advocates, we held town halls across 5 boroughs and met monthly to discuss education priorities. We organized and strategized to keep pulse on the issues that mattered to most, to meet the moment when it came to advancing our educational system. We are particularly proud of the work to sustain vital education program initially supported by COVID-19 stimulus funds. This budget added over $418 million for our schools and students, community schools, shelter-based coordinators, restorative justice, mental health support, art education, services for English language learners, and academic achievement for our students. I want to thank Speaker Adam, Jeremy John, Faiza Ali, Richard Lee, and Tanisha Edwards. To the advocates at the Emergency Coalition to Save Education, this is your victory. My entire staff who keep the District 40 moving, my dream team at the council, Aaliyah, Andrew, and Liz, my education committee staff, the incomparable Jan Outwell, Nadia Jean-Francois, Claudia Rivera, and Megan Lynch. More importantly, my constituents who always show up and support and engage. Thank you. And I vote aye.
Krishnan.
Permission to explain my vote?
Permission granted.
I am disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that the New York City Department of Education, the Variety Boys and Girls Club of Queens, and the YMCA are funded in this budget we are adopting, and my children are associated with those entities. First, I want to say a big thank you to Speaker Adams and her leadership, our Finance Chair, Justin Brannan, Central staff, Finance staff, and of course, Parks Committee staff, Michael Sherman, Jack Story, Chima Obasher, and my office staff too, for their tireless work and dedication to produce the budget that we have today over months of work. The budget is the single most important piece of legislation we negotiate with the mayor every year. It sends paychecks to lifeguards, teachers, and nurses. It plants trees, fills potholes, and feeds children. It opens libraries. It cleans parks. This year's budget was another win by our council against the mayor's bleak vision for our city. The budget addresses our city's challenges head-on. We will provide free, full-year extended day, early childhood care to thousands of working parents. We will spend $2 billion to build new affordable housing. And for our New York City parks, we won the permanent expansion of second shift maintenance workers, a program that provides a second afternoon and evening shift of cleaning for our parks on the busiest days each week. The full restoration of the Parks Opportunity Program, which opens paths to meaningful careers for thousands of disadvantaged New Yorkers each year, and an end to a pointless hiring freeze on parks workers. These are wins. We also fought and won against the mayor's cuts to so many institutions that working families of New York City depend on. Cuts to our libraries, restored permanently. 7-day service at our libraries, restored. Cuts to our museums, theaters, and cultural institutions, restored. Cuts to community composting, restored. And cuts to school lunches, restored. This council will not let our city fail our families. We pulled this budget away from the mayor's austerity and towards a New York City that our council believes in. But there is still much more work to do in the years ahead. We need at least 1% of the budget for parks, as the mayor promised when he campaigned. We need to guarantee a free local 3K and pre-K seat to every single family that wants one. We need to put people in homes and make sure they can stay there. We need to move budget negotiations with this city hall away from restoring draconian cuts to instead true investments our communities deserve. We need to build a safe, fair, flourishing city for all. That is the work ahead, and we in the City Council will hold the line. And in conclusion, having stood with the activists on the step of City Hall, having fought alongside my colleagues in the council to make critical investments and reverse dire cuts, I now stand with my colleagues
Councilmember, your
to
time has expired.
to vote yes on this budget. Thank you.
Thank you. Lee.
I am disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that the New York City Department of Education is funded in the budget we are adopting, and my child is associated with that entity, and that universal pre-kindergarten is funded in the budget we are adopting, and that my child is associated with that program, but not anymore. Yeah, he read it anyway. And with that, I wanted to vote aye on all, and congratulations to all the amazing staff and the speaker for all of your hard and incredible work for restoring all these cuts. Thank you.
Lewis.
Permission to explain my vote?
Permission granted.
Thank you. I'm disclosing on the record that CUNY and MTA is funded in the budget that we're adopting, and my siblings are associated with those entities. I also wanted to express my sincere condolences to the Noah Chandler and Perkins families after the unfortunate loss of Elijah Chandler and Christian Perkins, 2 young people who drowned at Reese Beach last Friday and whose bodies have still not been recovered. I vote aye on all.
Marmorato.
Permission to explain my vote?
Permission granted.
Thank you.
I'm disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that the New York City Board of Elections is funded in the budget we are adopting, and my spouse is associated with that entity. I would also like to thank the Speaker for her generosity that she's shown District 13 this budget season, and for her team for taking countless phone calls from my staff and getting us through our first budget. Thank you. I'd also like to thank my Chief of Staff, April Cardena, for helping us out and tying in the budget at the close end. I vote aye on all, with the exceptions of, sorry about that, Reso 482, 483, and 496, M57, Resos 485, 486, 487, and 488. Thank you.
Marte.
I'm disclosing for the record of the council proceedings that the Fortune Society is funded in the budget we're adopting, and my brother is associated with that entity, and that Combody Production is funded in the budget we're adopting, and my brother is associated with that entity. I vote aye. Thank you, everyone.
Mealy. Menon.
Permission to explain my vote?
Permission granted.
I want to thank the Speaker and Finance Chair Brannon and the Finance team, as well as Jeremy John, Faiza Ali, and my colleagues for their incredibly hard work over these past few months. I'm pleased to see that $2 billion has been added for affordable housing, one of our most urgent needs in the city, as well as the restoration of cuts on libraries, cultural organizations, education, composting, and other issues. But I do want to say it is totally unacceptable that we have been forced to spend our energy, our time, and our resources simply on restoring cuts rather than focusing on growing critical and key services to protect New Yorkers. And I fervently hope that that dynamic will change moving forward. I do also want to take a moment to highlight that $2 million was added to create the nation's first municipal office of healthcare accountability. I'm incredibly proud of that. That office will not only protect consumers by disclosing the price of every single medical procedure at every single hospital, but equally importantly, it will save the city potentially $2 billion a year by finally harnessing our city's purchasing power to drive down skyrocketing healthcare costs. And I hope that that money in future years will be able to be utilized for education, affordable housing, and other urgent needs. I want to disclose on the record that the National September 11th Memorial Museum is funded in the budget we are adopting, and I am associated with that entity. I also want to disclose that Tada Theater and Dance Alliance is funded in the budget we are adopting, and my child is associated with that entity, and with that, I vote aye. Thank you.
Moya.
I vote aye.
Thank you. Narcisse.
I'm disclosing on the record of the council proceeding that New York University is funded in the budget we are adopting, and my partner is associated with that entity as a medical doctor. And Madam, permission to explain my vote?
Permission granted.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker, Adrienne Adams, Finance Chair Brennan, and all the finance team. You are so awesome. And I want to say thank you, Jeremy, Faiza, Tanisha, Aisha. I hope I can call all the names. Chima, Florentine. I know I bother you a lot. That's the reason I remember all the names. And everyone that been great in that team. And my Chief of Staff, Syed Joseph, Deputy Chief of Staff, Frank Shea. All the members, you make the negotiation team seem seamless, but it was a lot of work behind the scene. And I want to say thank you for your dedication to reaching an agreement that truly serves all New Yorkers. This budget is a testament to our shared commitment to restore and invest in the vital services that our communities depend on. I want to express my deepest gratitude for the significant investment in our libraries, parks, sanitation services, and healthcare, of course, including mental health support. The enhanced funding for healthcare and mental health services is particularly crucial for our community's well-being. This investment investment will provide essential support to individuals and families facing health challenges and ensure that mental health resources are accessible to everyone in need. And I'm still waiting for the cancer screening as well. For my district, which places immense values on the beautiful parks, we love parks in the 46th district and libraries, this restoration and investment will have a profound impact for all of us. They ensure that this cherished community places remain accessible and well-maintained. And I want to say thank you, Madam Speaker, for standing in the heat and all the things are thrown, but you stand fast. And for that, I would say forever grateful for your approach and the kindness toward the things. And you always make it seem so easy in a moment of stress. So I want to say thank you. And thank you, of course, to the all Sergeant at
Councilmember, your
Arms.
time has
I
expired.
appreciate you all, and I'm done. And for that, I vote aye to all.
Thank you.
Nurse.
Can I explain my vote?
Permission
All right.
granted.
Thank you. This is our third restoration budget where we have had to scrap it out with this mayor for basic critical services. Mayor Adams continued to impose unnecessary cuts to life-saving programs despite numerous reports that we are expecting multi-billion-dollar surpluses into next year. He fails to invest in the services that you depend on that are designed to protect you and make your life better. And it is the council under the speaker that has fought tooth and nail on the front lines for you. By forcing New Yorkers to fight and scrounge for the bare minimum, he continues to show his inability to properly manage this city. I'm grateful and proud that this council, and I want to give a special shout out to the Progressive Caucus for blunting the sharpest of this mayor's cuts and has preserved the bare minimum for the people and families of New York. And as a reminder, it was the mayor who cut library service, who cut maintenance for our parks, who cut community composting and CUNY programs. It was his rent guidelines board who raised your rent, who cut services for elders. He cut the programs for our at-risk youth who desperately need more chances to become healthy members of our city. It has been the council that has stood every single day fighting for you. The Progressive Caucus Homes Now campaign brought a vital program, Neighborhood Pillars, back from the dead and won a 140% increase in funding for shared equity, affordable homeownership over the next 2 years, and that is a win. To the extent that we can say this budget does the minimum, it is because the speaker, the people in this room, and all the staff of this institution pushed every day. And that is why I'm voting yes today, because I am clear that we are not the problem. We deserve more, we deserve better, and I'm thankful to everyone here for the incredible work to baseline so many programs so that next year's fight is about enhancing services for New Yorkers, not protecting them. I vote aye.
Osei.
Aye.
Palladino.
Permission to explain my vote?
Permission granted.
Thank you. I'd like to take a moment to say thank you to the mayor's office and thank you to the speaker, Speaker Adams. I'd like to say thank you to the Borough President of Borough of Queens, Donovan Richards, for your support in District 19. And I'd like to say that this body here in the chambers, once again, we come together despite whatever our differences may be. But there are, and will continue to be, those choice few who exist in this body that will never be satisfied. We have just passed a budget of $112 billion. We have restored major programs with a fight at times, but that's what this is all about. It's business. And the fact that the select few here that can never be satisfied will push us deeper and deeper into debt if they had their way. So with that, again, I would like to say thank you to the mayor, thank you to Speaker Adams, and thank you very much to my budget director, Eric Forte, to my chief of staff, Ali Zarachi, and of course to everybody in the Speaker's office for helping us out. For your undying patience, I certainly do appreciate that. But the mood of this body must change. Thank you very much.
Your vote?
Thank you. Okay, I'd like to vote aye on the budget and no on preconsidered resos 482, 483, and 496 with M57, resos 485, 486, 487, and 488. Thank you very much.
Powers.
I vote aye, and I'm disclosing on the record the council proceedings at Mount Sinai Hospital is funded in the budget, and we're adopting my mother is associated with that entity.
Wrestler.
I'd like to disclose that the Mercantile Library Association, also known as the Center for Fiction, and the Brooklyn Heights Association are funded in this budget, and my mom, who's the best, serves on the board of both organizations. Permission to explain my vote?
Permission granted.
And thank you for laughing. I've disagreed with the mayor at nearly every step of this budget process, ever since the first round of extreme and unnecessary cuts that were imposed in November. The budget that we're voting on today is imperfect, but under the leadership of Speaker Adams, we have been unified as a body in our fight to restore meaningful investments in our communities and to prevent the most harm. By organizing together, guided by the best interests of New Yorkers, we got a lot more than Eric Adams wanted to give. Thanks in part to the Progressive Caucus, who did a great job in organizing with the Homes Now campaign, we helped secure $2 billion of funding over the next 2 years to create deeply affordable and desperately needed housing. The council pushed to restore $600 million in expiring funds to our neighborhood schools, cuts that would have been just awful. $58 million in funding for our libraries means the return of 7-day-a-week service. And we were able to partially lift the mayor's hiring freeze at the Parks Department, add a second cleaning shift at high-traffic parks to ensure that they're clean and well-maintained. And we restored over $1 billion in funding for sustainability and resiliency upgrades to our city buildings, including our schools, to help meet our climate goals. There were more resources available, though, in this budget. And despite the council's best efforts, the mayor's commitment to fiscal austerity continues to hurt New York City. I'm disappointed by the mayor's refusal to fully fund Universal 3K and fully restore multiple rounds of the cuts that he's imposed to CUNY. The lack of childcare options is driving the affordability crisis for young families in New York City. The council was able to secure some very positive investments in early childhood education, but we need more resources, and we need a mayor who actually wants more kids enrolled in 3K. With the new investments in this budget, we will continue to push the administration to ramp up outreach and better manage seat distribution. I am immensely grateful to the Speaker, the Finance Chair, Justin Brannan, and my colleagues, but ultimately, no budget can solve for the mayor's mismanagement of our city. And unfortunately, this management was on full display during this budget process. New Yorkers deserve a budget and a mayor that are building toward our collective future, where every New Yorker
your time has expired.
can afford housing, where every New Yorker can afford housing, where every parent has access to child care, and every child obtains an excellent education.
Councilmember.
I vote aye in support of affordable housing, libraries, schools, and sustainability investments, and thank you very much.
Riley.
I would like to disclose for the record that Metropolitan College of New York is funded in the budget that we're adopting, and I'm associated with this entity. The Bronx Public Administrator Office is funded in the budget, and my spouse is associated with this entity. New York City DOE is funded in this budget, and my children and business associates associated with this entity. I have a lot of disclosures. The YMCA is funded in this budget, and my family is associated with this entity. The Girl Scout of New York is funded in this budget, and my children are associated with this entity. New York City ACS is funded in this budget, and my siblings associated with this entity. And lastly, New York Presbyterian Hospital is funded in this budget, and my business associate is funded with this entity, and I vote aye on all.
Rivera.
I am disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that Bellevue Hospital is funded in the budget we are adopting, and my child is associated with that entity. Permission to explain my vote?
Permission granted.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for your leadership and work to pass this budget. I know it wasn't easy, but collectively, we remain focused on one goal: to listen to our communities and deliver for them to the best of our ability. This budget builds on work this council has done to expand access to housing and health care, invest more in child care, improve youth and senior programming, address street safety, bolster climate resiliency, support our schools, enhance parks and public spaces, and much more. And as chair of the Committee on Cultural Affairs and Libraries, I'm especially proud of the restorations we secured and baselines we established for our cultural organizations and public library systems. Thanks to our work together, the libraries will have a higher baseline funding moving forward, ensuring New Yorkers have access to their vital services. And for the first time since 2009, 15 years, we've increased baseline support for our cultural institutions group that are an unbelievable economic engine for the city. The return on investment will pay itself off many, many times over. I applaud the New Yorkers who fought hard to secure support for arts organizations, cultural institutions, and our public libraries as we work together to build a stronger, safer, and more vibrant city. Libraries and our cultural organizations are valuable institutions that provide diverse performances, renowned theater, language classes, access to technology, career and financial services, and countless other experiences and opportunities. And these entities support families across the boroughs, host visitors from around the world, and generate billions of dollars in economic revenue. Together, we achieved a budget that invests in impactful services equitably across the city. I want to thank all of the staff, Jeremy John, Faiza Ali, thank you, the Speaker's leadership team in finance, BNT, my own council team that holds it down, and of course my family, and my colleagues. I vote aye. Happy Pride.
Salam.
I'm disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that the YMCA is funded in this budget. We are adopting, and my immediate family and I are associated with that entity. Also, Youth Represent is funded in the budget, and my daughter is associated with that entity. Permission to explain my vote.
Permission granted.
In continuing with my aforementioned statement, my staff and I have been working diligently to ensure a robust allocation for the people of Harlem while also advocating for budget restoration throughout the city. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for your commitment to restoring our library and cultural affairs funds. Not only have these funds been restored, but the historic Schomburg Center for Research has also received $125,000 in expense, and Harlem Hospital has received $1.5 million for capital upgrades from the Speaker at my request. This is an achievement that I'm particularly proud of. According to my office's preliminary analysis, we have allocated more than 31% of our expense budget to youth and education-related programs and more than 20% to green space development and sanitation-related programs. Both numbers exceed our initial commitments to various groups and advocates. We have allocated 64% of our capital allotments to educational institutions, with 52% of that funding directed towards public schools in our districts and 10% towards CUNY. I'm proud of the allotments my office and I have made. I look forward to ensuring these funds are used in the manner that is just and appropriate, and I seek the guidance of God Almighty for the people I represent and support of the constituents that I serve. With that, I'm proud to vote yes on the budget for the betterment of my beloved constituents in District 9. I vote aye on all.
Salamanca.
I'm disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that the YMCA is funded in the budget we are adopting, and I, along with my immediate family, are associated with that entity, and that the New York City Department of Parks and Recreation is funded in the budget we are adopting, and my spouse is associated with that entity, and that the Castle Hill Little League is funded in the budget we are adopting, and my child is associated with that entity, and I vote aye on all. Thank you.
Sanchez.
I'm disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that the City University of New York is funded in the budget we are adopting, and my sibling is associated with that entity. Permission to explain my vote?
Permission granted.
Thank you, Majority Leader. This kind of budget negotiation, focused on restoring devastating cuts instead of investing in new programs, is not the kind of negotiation that New Yorkers need. But I'm proud of the council's tenacity in clawing back unnecessarily austere measures and investing in New Yorkers. I want to just take a moment to acknowledge the Speaker, the finance team, Richard Lee, Tanisha Edwards especially, and everyone, the budget negotiating team and the Progressive Caucus, because we're here on June 30th for a reason, the very last day, the bitter end, because you all helped us fight to the end. At a time when New York City is in a housing crisis, childcare costs are skyrocketing, and the cost of living has continued to soar, as Chair of Housing and Buildings, I am especially proud that we secured an additional historic $2 billion investment over the next 2 years for the construction and preservation in affordable housing, with deeper investments than we've seen in low-income housing. A total of almost $4.2 billion in the upcoming year as of adoption, And we're still fact-checking, but we're pretty sure this is the highest not only in 6 years, but probably ever. Congratulations to our council and our members. We won $30 million for neighborhood pillars and $110 million for Open Door. This is all a win for New York City. And I also want to congratulate on Intro 962 with respect to the liens in the city of New York. I want to acknowledge the Abolish the Tax Lien Sale Coalition, Councilmember Sandy Nurse, for your leadership, and all of the members. This is good policy. It's not perfect, and there's more to do, and there will be done through the work of a task force. But we did well, kids, and I'm very proud of all of us. Thank you, Majority Leader. I vote aye.
Schulman.
I am disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that the office of the mayor of the city of New York is funded in the budget. We are adopting my sibling as associated with that entity. Permission to explain my vote.
Permission granted.
Thank you. When I started out in politics, a wise political mentor of mine once said to me, "You can't cut your way out of a deficit. You have to invest, and invest is what this city council did on many fronts, not on all fronts, but on many fronts, including housing and education. Prior to becoming a council member, I worked for nearly a decade as a council staffer for members and in the Speaker's office. During those years, I worked on many budgets and don't recall any being as robust and inclusive as the budget we are about to pass. For fiscal year 25, the council was able to restore and enhance funding beyond anyone's expectations for libraries, education, including our public schools in CUNY, older adults, culture and art, housing, HIV/AIDS, composting, parks, and so much more. In addition, this budget has an unprecedented number of items that are now baselined, meaning that they will become a permanent part of the budget in future years. That is a huge investment. While there are many details that you will hear about in the days to come, a unique aspect of this budget is that a process has been established between the council and the administration to restructure problem program areas to ensure New Yorkers receive the services they need and deserve. One specific area is pre- and 3K slots, including slots for kids with disabilities, where a council working group has been established with the administration to ensure that every request for a slot is matched and located near where our young constituents live. Our budget wins would not have been possible without the extraordinary leadership of Speaker Adrienne Adams and her team, especially Jeremy John and Faiza Ali, and by the way, it's pronounced Pfizer. The hard work of the finance team, headed by the incomparable Richard Lee, our finance chair Justin Brannon, and my colleagues, especially my B&T teammates. Lastly, I wouldn't be able to do any of this without the amazing work and patience of my staff, particularly Chief of Staff Jonathan Boucher, my Budget Director Kevin McAleer, and I also want to welcome Avi Dayton, my Simon Wiesenthal intern for the summer, who is here today. With that, I vote aye on all.
Stevens.
I'm disclosing on the record for this council proceeding that CUNY is funded in this budget and we are adopting it, and my child is associated with that entity. Columbia Presbyterian Hospital is funded in this budget and my daughter is associated with that entity. And with that, I vote aye.
Ong.
I want to thank Speaker Adams, all my colleagues, all the council staff for working so hard on this budget. I vote aye on all.
Vernikov. Williams.
I am disclosing for the record of this council proceeding that the City University of New York is funded in the budget we are adopting, and I am associated with that entity, and that the Queens Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated is funded in the budget we are adopting, and I am associated with that organization. I vote aye.
Juan.
Aye on all, and I am disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that the YMCA is funded in the budget and we're adopting, and I am associated with that entity.
Thank you, Councilmember. Yeager.
Aye on all with the exception of Intro 962, Resolutions 482, 483, 484, 485, 486, 487, 488. And pre-considered M57 and Resolution 496 and M49. Thank you.
Thank you. One moment. Zhuang.
Permission to explain my vote.
Permission granted.
Thank you. I want to thank Speaker and the Speaker's team, and also Finance Department, Finance Chair, and also all the negotiation team. I will say you guys did a fantastic job to represent us and our city. And I'm proud our city, we able to secure funding for $2 billion to expanding permit affordable housing across the city, and also senior housing, and reforming our early child education system so our 3K and the pre-K kids can have quality education. And also I want to especially thank Speaker able to secure the $10 million funding for renovating of a new maternity wing at Southern Brooklyn Health. As I always said, a health budget means a healthier New York City. I want to thank you, and also I am very happy to vote yes. Oh, I should disclosure my thing first. I'm disclosing the record of city proceeding that the New York City Department of Education is funded in the budget. We are adopting, and my child are associated with that entity. And I will vote yes on the budget, and I will vote no on Reso 482, 483, 496, and M57, Resos 485, 486, 487, 488. Thank you.
Thank you. Borelli.
Madam Majority Leader.
Go ahead, permission granted.
Thank you. I will, because it's Sunday, and it is, it's a day we all anticipated perhaps being home, I will refrain from my usual, we're spending more than Switzerland speech, we are. I will refrain from the usual, budgets are priorities, and here's why I hate the budget, but why I'm voting yes speech. That's become sort of standard, not just in this legislative body, but in many. But I do have to make some disclosures. Number one, I actually listen to my wife. She's a very, very smart woman, but she teaches New York City public school special ed children, and she does have an influence on the work I do here every day. So sometimes we forget why we disclose these things. It's not all bad. Things like that are good. Number two, my son has a cannon. You're going to see him in the NFL. He actually got the only completed touchdown pass in his kindergarten division as part, true story, as part of the 9/11 Flag Football League, which we are funding. My other son got a hat trick in the Parks Department beach soccer tournament. Hat tip to Commissioner and all her staff, Donahue and all her staff. They did a great job. But he's part of the Staten Island Youth Soccer League. Hat trick, that's not bad. He had a good season, too. And finally, my favorite disclosure is that every year, about 80 young undergraduates get stuck with me for 3 hours a week, where I get to indoctrinate them with my beliefs, which is a wonderful thing. And they pay me, which is fantastic. So I'll disclose that I am a professor at the College of Staten Island. So Speaker, thank you for your leadership here, doing the pushing and pulling that we all expect you to do, and a fine job. With that, I will vote aye on all, with the exception of preconsidered Resos 482, 483, 496, and M57, as well as Resos 485, 486, 487, and 488. Thank you.
Farias.
I am disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that NYU Langone is funded in the budget we are adopting, and my parent is associated with that entity, and that the New York City Department of Education is funded in the budget we are adopting, and my sibling is associated with that entity. It is not lost on me that it is my first budget as majority leader with an all-woman of color leadership team and a female majority council, and the greatest budget negotiation team I've ever asked for this cycle. We can just support it that way, thank you. Good afternoon and happy Pride. I'm proud to have been a part of the council's unwavering commitment to restoring and securing funding for essential services that make our city vibrant and livable for years to come. The council understood the stakes for New Yorkers. We have successfully prioritized and fought for the restoration and investment of over $2 billion since the mayor's preliminary budget and over $1 billion since the executive. This funding supports affordable housing, libraries, parks, early childhood education, student support programs, CUNY, senior services, mental health care, community safety, and so much more. Our priorities are not crafted in isolation, but in tandem with the voices of our communities. Without a council's intervention and fight, this budget would not have put them first. Thank you to Council Speaker Adrian Adams for your leadership, for our entire finance division, and I'm really proud of this city council, and with that, I vote aye on all.
Speaker Adams.
I am disclosing on the record of the council proceedings that the Pearls and Ivy Foundation of Queens is funded in the budget we're adopting, and I am associated with that entity, and that the Fire Department of the City of New York is funded by the budget we're adopting, and my child is associated with that entity. I have given my remarks twice today on my gratitude and how proud I am of passing this budget. I just have a couple more names to add who I will thank with abundance: Grace Amato, Vida Yagnik, and Elizabeth Childers Garcia. Thank you so much for all of your work in helping us to pass this amazing budget today. I do vote aye on everything.
Thank you. Councilmember Zhuang, you wanted to?
Yeah, I want to disclose the record of this council proceeding that Ellis and the Karl Marx Jewish Community House of Bensonhurst is funded in the budget we are adopting, and my children are associated with this nonprofit. Thank you.
Thank you. One moment as we tally. All items on today's general order calendar are adopted by a vote of 49 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, and 0 abstentions, with the exception of Introduction 962, which was adopted by a vote of 47 in the affirmative, 2 in the negative, and 0 abstentions, and M57 and Resolution 496, which was adopted by a vote of 40 in the affirmative, 9 in the negative, and 0 abstentions, and Resolution 484, which was adopted by a vote of 48 in the affirmative and 1 in the negative, and 0 abstentions, and M49, which was adopted by a vote of 48 in the affirmative, 1 in the negative, and 0 abstentions, and Resos 482, 483, 485, 486, 487, and 488, which was adopted by a vote of 40 in the affirmative, 9 in the negative, and 0 abstentions, and Ms. 42 and 43 with accompanying resolutions, which was adopted by a vote of 46 in the affirmative, 3 in the negative, and 0 abstentions. I now formally declare that the Executive Expense Revenue Contract Budget, the Executive Capital Budget, and the Community Development Program for fiscal year 2025, all as modified and all in accordance with the New York City Charter, have been hereby adopted as of 4:07 p.m. on this 30th day of June 2024. All right. Introduction and reading of bills.
All bills have been referred to finance as indicated on today's agenda.
Thank you. There are no resolutions on today's calendar, so we will now move into general discussion. I'd like to recognize Councilmember Brannan.
Thank you. I gave a very short aye before, and I forgot to thank some folks. I want to thank Andrea Fastenberg at the Law Department for all her hard work on the property tax debt resolution bill. And I also want to thank Deputy Speaker Ayala for all she did to keep to help. While I was trying to negotiate the budget over text message, Diana was actually keeping BNT in line, and I appreciate that. I also want to put into the record, I said it before, but I've been around this building for a while, first as a staffer, now as a council member, and I can honestly say I've never seen or worked with a speaker like Adrienne Adams, who truly leads from the bottom up. Speaker Adams doesn't make her personal priorities the council priorities. She doesn't try to force what she cares about on the members. Quite the opposite. If the members care about something, then it becomes her personal priority. And I just want to thank her for her leadership. And because she'll kill me, our majority whip, Sylvana Brooks Powers, for all her hard work and getting us to such a big number. That's it, thanks.
Okay. I'll now call on Speaker Adrienne Adams to close today's stated meeting.
Congratulations, Madam Majority Leader, on passing your first budget as our Majority Leader. The stated meeting of June 30th, 2024 is hereby adjourned.